I made a backhanded comment when my wife asked me if it was okay for her to take a break and she immediately saw red, and now she's persistent on doing it without me when it comes to our kids, and I just want her back. My wife, 35F, and I, 34M, don't fight much. And when we do fight, we usually communicate well afterwards and things go back to normal. I brag to my friends about how reasonable my wife is, and her ability to communicate and empathize is something I deeply admire. She doesn't hold grudges. She talks me through my rough times. Until now. Due to a fire, my wife is out of work but still earning her salary, thanks insurance. We decided she would stay home with our young son while out of work. She doesn't love child rearing, which is something we knew going into having kids. Honestly, it's hard to tell. She's a great mom. Present and loving even when I can see she's struggling inside. I give my wife a lot of breaks. We co-parent. Split bedtime routines for our two kids. We both pull our weight. Yesterday was a snow day. My daughter was home with my wife and son. I was working from home downstairs all day. I helped my daughter with cyber school until noon. My wife was with my son in the snow all morning, plowing the drive and sidewalks etc., maintaining the house. My daughter joined them, and from the sound of things and some videos, she brought her friends over for playing and hot chocolate. I worked until around 5 o'clock, and when I went upstairs it was chaos. My wife was doing laundry and helping my daughter who fell and hurt herself on the ice. She sent home the friends and we had dinner. I did the cleanup, and right after finishing, keep in mind I've been downstairs working all day, not even a bathroom break. Afternoon I go into the playroom and my wife approaches me. It goes like this. Her, hey, can I go lay down for a bit? The maybe offense. I admit I made a face and said, me, I haven't gone to the bathroom all day and I put cookies in the oven. I can tell I messed up just by the face she give me. Her, fine. Never mind. Forget I asked. Heaven forbid. Now I'm sensing some attitude and know I've misstepped here. So I say, me, no, it's fine, I'll take care of it all. Go take a break. To my complete shock, in front of our kids who I admit aren't paying us much attention, but are still close, my wife says. I said never mind. I've been running around on my feet all day watching our kids and other people's kids, and heaven fudging forbid I ask for 20 minutes to myself. I again say go take a break. I told you it was fine. But she's clearly lost her marbles and is seeing red. She starts cleaning up and helping with the kids, and I do too. I tried to overcompensate, but she just took over caring for them and they listened to he. In the hall I said, I think you forget I work all day. And she viciously says, her, thanks for reminding me. I almost forgot. I feel like an ass. I get that she works hard caring for the kids, but I work hard too. I think not having her job and escape is making her reaction to this fight worse. She texted me the next day with her usual communication. She expressed how upset she felt with my behavior and the way I acted toward her. She said she was feeding and taking care of 6 kids all day in the snow alone and still cleaned the entire house and deep cleaned our craft room. I explained that I'm stressed at work and that I didn't get why she's so upset since I offered her a break, but she said, I don't want your pity breaks. She ended it with, thanks for the apology BTW. Which, yeah, I didn't exactly apologize, but for what? And then she asked for the number to my daughter's piano teacher. The piano teacher was the only activity that I managed for my kids. I found out she texted her asking to go through my wife from now on, as she will be managing the schedule. Normally my wife would text me asking if I can get my daughter from dance on my way home yesterday. I do this every week. I didn't hear anything, and when I got home I found out my wife dropped and picked her up. I confronted my wife with, I am very present with my children, do not make me out to be an absent father. My wife responded with, if I didn't manage and ask you for help, you'd see them a quarter of the time you do now. And I'm done managing you. I get it. I should have just smiled and agreed when she asked for help, but this is extreme. She's having a fit and trying to ice me out of my relationship with my kids. It's so petty. It's like I don't even know this woman. Gone is the reasonable, level-headed communicator. So if you've made it this far, thank you. And please tell me if I'm wrong here. Update. I made one stupid selfish comment to my wife a week or so ago, and now my life is in disarray. My wife is in some crisis. Her work is closed and she's being paid, but she's home with our kids now, including one 3-year-old. She gets breaks on Monday and Friday with childcare. We went into having kids knowing she wanted to be a working mother. So this has been an adjustment. To say the least. After Reddit humbled me and she made me sit down and write a list of things I did for the family that day and compared it with her longer list, I apologized. She accepted and I figured things would go back to normal. They haven't. My wife used to include me in parenting our kids. I did dance pickup most weeks and bedtime was split. I gave baths. Made dinner. All the stuff. Since our fight, my wife hasn't asked me for any help with the kids. The first morning I woke up on what was supposed to be my morning with the kids, I figured she was just being nice or trying to prove a point, but it keeps happening. She didn't even send them down to say good night last night. Normally my wife does this silly game where she sends my son to ask me to read 5 books and then we would negotiate down to 1 or 2 and race upstairs. Last night I heard her racing him and came up to find her doing bedtime yet again. The kids haven't even noticed. It's like she's replacing me. Consider my foot officially in my mouth. She started running again. She's cooking really healthy and often. Every night I come home to my perfectly happy Stepford wife, doing it all without me, and I feel empty inside. How do I fix this? I don't even know where to begin. At this point I want to beg her to go back to how things were. This wasn't what we agreed on. Commenter. But he doesn't know what to do. If she doesn't send the kid to him with an instruction of what books, and how many, are to be read, how is he supposed to know what to do? That wasn't a silly game. That was a woman noticing you are never going to just go read your own kid a book, so she made it into a game for the child, so the child doesn't have to watch his mom come over to dad and say, please read him a book, for the love of God please. Because that would give the kid an inkling that you are not doing it out of your own free will, and if not instructed, you would not do it ever, and that could be upsetting. OP responds. Okay. I admit. This hit me hard. Fudge man. Do you really think that's what the game is? I hate that it makes sense to me. Edit. Fudge guys, I get it. I'm a complete jerk. I'm going to make this right. Edit 2. Thank you to the handful of people that reached out with advice. Believe it or not, I do want to be a good father and husband. I've royally messed up and I see that and fully admit it. This is going to be my only edit, and then I'm going to get off my phone for a while and focus my attention on my family. My wife had dinner cooked when I got home. Everything is fine between us, so there wasn't any tension. After we cleaned up I went upstairs and ran my wife a bath, put Taylor Swift on her Alexa and lit a few candles. I told her to go relax upstairs for the night. She was surprised but smiled and went on her way. I'm currently on the toilet watching my kids take a bath. People mentioned love bombing etc., but I'm just trying anything I can to show her I do appreciate and love her and our family, and I want to be a present father. I'm going to do bedtime tonight and probably all next week. I'll tell her she does so much during the day and deserves the break because it's the truth. I get that I come off as a jerk. I grew up in a not great situation and didn't have the best role models growing up. I'm terrified of my children not having enough and I overcompensate by working too much. This new job came with a big pay increase, but the hours are longer and I feel like I can never keep up. I've reached out to a few recruiters tonight. I used to love my job and was always home by 4:30. Even if it means taking the lost income, I'm thinking about going back. Relationships are hard. And humans aren't perfect. For all the people telling me my kids don't love me and I'm a waste of space, guys, just remember I'm an actual person. That's rough. Anyways, that's all I have for you folks. I need to watch these kiddos and start planning out my long road of groveling and reconnecting. Thanks all. Update 3. Back on after a while and I see this comment right away. Thanks for asking. The update is slow moving. My wife and I had a few nights of talking and crying that have helped make us stronger. I know everyone hates me, but I do love my wife, and had she ever expressed an unequal workload before this fight I would have put effort into learning about it and fixing it. As it stands, we agreed to therapy. My wife feelings like her reaction to our fight was out of her norm and wants to start her own therapy to help. I fully support that. I also do weekly therapy and find it helpful. Boy was this week fun for my therapist. Anyways, I looked deep into weaponized incompetence and unequal mental workloads and have come to realize I'm essentially another head to manage for my wife. We agreed to be partners in this life, and somewhere along the line I lost that thread. She still claims she wants to manage our schedules, but I don't want to be that husband or father. I have always thought my wife was amazing and looked up to her. What would wife's name do, is my motto. I want to be more like her, so I need to learn how to manage myself and my time and my kids' time without her help. I've asked to take on the parenting responsibilities 100%. I didn't realize she needed to do so much. It's been eye-opening. How long we will keep this up either. My wife isn't the biggest fan of handing over the reins. Reddit's hate has lit a fire under my butt. Having so many outside people looking into the situation and simultaneously getting the ick from me has been humbling. I think I'm going to go with what my wife and I decided in terms of deciding what's realistic or sincere. I wanted to see what it felt like to be 100% in control of everyone's schedule and making sure to take care of it. It's incredibly difficult to constantly be reminding myself of the time and who needs what and when, but it's also been humbling and rewarding. We both know it won't last forever and we will get back to finding our new healthy medium. Things won't go back to before and they won't stay like this forever. But for now, I'm taking over doctors and school duty, and when we sign up my son for kindergarten next year I'll be doing all the work for that and making sure I'm fully involved in the things I missed with my daughter. I'm going to be a better dad, and that's just final. Update 4. Update 218. It's been a minute since I bothered with Reddit, but when I logged in it seems some people care for an update. It's not exciting. I've taken a lot of time to really look at the man I've become. My wife and I are 100% back to being a team, but I've realized I wasn't stepping up the way I always wanted to. I promised my wife a partnership, and even though it's been a month or so since our fight and my wife keeps asking me to forget it happened, I can't. My therapist is helping me sort through my overthinking. My wife started therapy BC of the stress losing her work, temporarily, and staying home has caused. Her issues appear to stem from feeling useless without bringing in a paycheck and was taking on too many tasks at home to overcompensate. She doesn't feel like she deserves breaks, and when she takes them she feels awful about herself and like she's lazy. Coming from the least lazy person I know, I can tell she's struggling. And I've been supporting her the best I can. I often make sure she knows I think she deserves breaks. So when I see her hyper-fixating on cleaning the floorboards, I intervene gently by reminding her that this doesn't need doing right now, but that I will finish it for her while she does me a favor and takes a little break. Sometimes it works and other times she tells me to stop fussing and leave her to work, and I do. It's been working well, and I don't mind the extra work for the peace of mind it offers me. My wife is my everything and her happiness is paramount. My kids are mostly clueless to all this. We don't involve them. And I must say, I made a throwaway comment about my wife not loving child rearing and received a lot of nasty comments about not having kids we don't want. I'm weary to dignify this with a response, but will say what I meant was that we agreed before having children that my wife would not be the sole support system for them and that she would never feel obligated to quit working. My wife is fiercely independent due to her past, and a big part of her comfort in our relationship comes from her ability to leave it safely if she ever needed to. That trauma is hers, and I won't touch more on it other than to say I agreed to this aspect before we married and do not mind it. She should be an independent person. I'd want the same for my kids. So that's basically it. I've taken on the role as primary parent. I get my kids to daycare/school and home, and while my wife helps half the time, it's now my responsibility to see who is doing what and coordinate things. I can't do it all in my head like her, but I have a chart that's been helping. She rebelled at first but gave up the reins surprisingly easily. She needed a break. I also put my son back in full-time daycare, although my wife keeps springing him early. I can tell she likes the break. That's all I have for now. Thanks guys, and sorry it's not more dramatic. I know some of y'all wanted my balls and were hopeful my wife would leave me. While I would be lost without her and the thought makes me physically ill, it's nice to see people appreciating my wife the way she deserves and stand up for her so fiercely. Thanks all. One last thing, I bought her this game Pal World on the computer. She hasn't gamed since having kids. BC of some preconceived conclusion it made her a bad parent, but I insisted she spend a few hours, and since I'd spent money, she did. I find her playing a lot to wind down when the day is over. It seems to be helping her feel more herself too. So thanks video games. I'll stand for a lot of assumptions on my character, and boy have there been some nasty ones, but one thing I won't take is people saying I don't love my wife. She's my person and it is my duty in life to make her happy. Update 5. 6 months later. I say evolving because I can't say I've changed. It's not been long enough for that. I posted a while ago on Reddit to vent. I was angry about a fight I'd had with my wife about something stupid I'd done. I'll be honest, it was multiple stupid things. After a lot of strong opinions on here and some heavy reflecting, I didn't even know my kid's doctor's name. I had a perspective shift. I decided I wanted to be more involved. More of the primary parent. My wife agreed, so start handing me the reins, starting with registering our son for kindergarten and all of my daughter's activities. I work from home and am flexible and honestly enjoy being the one to get my kids on and off the bus. Now, I am the one they call when the kids are sick. Even when they do bother my wife, she will call me because I'm closer and I'm free now. I am homeroom parent for my son this year. Bring the office ladies eggs. Got the background checks for volunteering. Shark shop from 11:30 to 12:40 is a perfect way to spend my Tuesday lunch break. The kids still prefer mom sometimes, but wow has it made a huge difference. So, if you can, dads, be the primary. It's worth every second.